Well, hi guys, it's Dr. Drake 63 here again today. Thanks for joining me on my YouTube channel. I have with me an AK variant. It's an AK-74. It's an SLR 104 made by Arsenal in Bulgaria. You can't get these right now. We don't know if you're ever going to be able to get them again. One of the finest AK examples you can get. I have enjoyed this rifle now since September, a year before last. And have put many thousands of rounds through it, and it looks brand new and it runs flawlessly. That's not what I'm here to talk about today. What I'm here to talk about today are torture tests and how they relate to the quality of your AK. What does that mean, torture tests? Well, a lot of you are familiar with the AK Operators Union. That's the most popular site, I guess, if you will, that does these. And they do a very thorough job of with each rifle of putting it through its paces, 5,000 rounds. I think at one point they did the sand tornado, but I think they have stopped doing that, where sand is actually shook into the receiver while the weapon's being fired. They have some pretty stringent tests they put them through, and I think that AK Operators Union is employing a lot of that. I do believe AKOU makes every attempt to be fair. I do believe that AKOU makes every attempt to be honest and is honest. But what the AK operators can't do is do what's called a scientific study, whereby you have a large sample size that you're testing. You're not testing 2 consecutive rifles off the line, but you're looking at several batches. And you have the types of instruments to whereby you can do the same exact type of test on every rifle. Now, if you think about it, here's an AK underfolder. It's an NPAP. And one of the tests they do is push-ups, whereby they'll put this on the ground and do push-ups and see how the stock and everything holds up. I don't know. Are you guys willing to do that on this? I don't think so. Obviously, as an underfolder, it might need a different kind of test. And in a lot of ways, these things might need different kinds of tests. But I specifically want to address where I think we should hold these kind of torture tests. I'm not picking on any site. Just in general, where we should hold these torture tests when we're evaluating a firearm. Because I think it's important. Taking a look at this NPAP, and I have been all over inside and out of this firearm. I'm not here to do that again today. But this is a firearm that a version of this did not do extremely well on the AKOU torture tests. And people started putting out information that they had soft receivers. The dog doesn't like this one at all, apparently. And a lot of other things based on a version that Rob used, which was heavily manipulated by Century Arms. What's nice about this underfolder version is it isn't the same version that was causing problems. It doesn't have Century Arms wood furniture put on it. It has the original Yugoslavian handguards, which are nice. Here's my point. This particular firearm got a bad rap, and so all the little girls on the internet that read something and repeat it, and that's their knowledge base, will tell me all the time, you need to get rid of that NPAP. It's got soft receiver. It didn't do well on the AKOU test. Oh my gosh. Well, guess what? You have to describe what doing well is, but to be honest with you, how many of you guys go out and buy a car based on whether or not the thing fails driving at 120 miles an hour for 17 days straight? Are you ever going to drive it like that? One of my favorite commentators on the web is a guy named Mishiko. I'll put up a link to his page. But this is a guy that, like myself, just wants the facts. Not rumors, just facts, because we shoot these things and we like them. And, if somebody says the problem with this firearm is the life of it's only going to be 20,000 versus 30,000 rounds or something, guess what? I won't live to see that. But that's just me. Conversely, this is an Arsenal SLR 104 side folder. And this one was the first of any of the firearms to do 5,000 rounds without any kind of hiccup. No fail to feed, no failure to extract, none of that. And so, of course, it's got a good name. Well, these guns basically function about the same, to be honest with you. But this one is of a higher quality. It is built better. It's also shooting 5.45 by 39. If you look at that, that's actually 7N6. Whereas here, we're shooting a much bigger round, 7.62 by 39. So when you compare these guys side by side, you kind of see that the AK is going to take a bigger beating. It's going to have to absorb some more work just because of the amount of powder that is going through that every time. So there is that to think about. One of the things that I kind of struggle with these torture tests, and again, not picking on AKOU, but they're the guys that do the most extensive job. Almost every time, the rifles that are being used are modified. They put a different compensator or brake on them, different furniture, you name it. So it doesn't look anything like what you get out of the box. So I guess there's that. So the modifications kind of take away a little bit to the true story that these torture tests tell. But the biggest thing is, guys, torture tests are great. We've learned some really cool things that we weren't looking at before AKOU, or a lot of us weren't looking at, and that's things such as cast versus forged trunnion, and what kind of peening we're getting on the tail of the bolt carrier, that kind of thing. And many of us learned that you have dissimilar metals with the hammer on the trigger group. Tapcos were the answer to everything for years. And you end up with kind of a weird situation there, where you really don't know who, what, where, or when. And I haven't seen that any more than on the NPAP from Zastava. It just gets a bad name. There's really no reason for it. And I can tell you that at least the underfolder DF models that are coming in are some really nice rifles. And I wouldn't hesitate to pick that up and not worry about it failing at any point. So, hey, it's all different. But again, if you gotta know which gun takes the most extreme beating that you'll never put it through, it's good to look at torture tests. But again, torture tests aren't always realistic. And anybody who knows anything about statistically valid sample sizes knows that what Rob's doing, while it's very informative and very instructive when it comes to evaluating a firearm model, not statistically valid. It's not like how Consumer Reports would do it. I'm sure that they or anybody else, heck, I would be happy to put these through some major torture tests. Give me the gun, give me the ammo, give me the time, and I will shoot as many rounds as you want me to. So I kind of get the situation with that, but be careful when you're making your decisions. Make sure you shoot something and don't go all off hearsay evidence. There's so much of that when it comes to firearms over the internet, on this medium, on Facebook, social media, you name it. There's so much that's said that's just absolutely wrong every day. And most of it is people that read a post that some other guy made and they go parroting it. It's not from their firsthand experience. So, guys, I'll encourage you to do what I do. Always look for the facts. Don't live off of hearsay and conjecture. Learn your material. Find out who's giving you good information and listen to them. Stay away from the folks that say, I just saw that or I just read that. No, we need to understand what's going on, guys. These are machines. This is technical stuff. And if you're going to play in this arena, learn to understand that a little bit. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. I, again, want to make it real clear. I have no axe to grind with AK Operators Union. I watch them religiously, but I think it's important that we all remember that these torture tests are just one facet of how a firearm is going to perform, and not usually a very good indicator of how they're going to perform for how you shoot them. Thanks again, Dr. Drake 63, reminding you to join the NRA or up your support. They're on our side, guys. Thanks a lot and have a great day.